Hi, third graders. It's Mrs. Gillens again. So we are going to move on to lesson 4. Yesterday, or in our last video rather, we talked a little bit about multiplication, and we're going to keep talking about multiplication. This time, though, we're going to talk about some unknowns in the problem that we don't know. So let's get started. Our first one, we have a picture up here. So Mr. Rush, he got some new markers yesterday, and he got 18 new markers, and he decided he would be nice and he would share them and divide them up with me into 2 equal groups. Now, from our last lessons, we know equal groups means we need the same number in each group. So I'm going to try to figure out how many markers he gave me by partitioning out all of my x's into 2 equal groups. So here's what I'm going to do. I know how many groups I have. What I don't know is the size of each group. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to start counting like this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So here are my 2 groups that I have. Everybody see that? So I now know the size of my groups. If I have my 18 markers divided into 2 equal groups, I have, if I count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 markers or 9 counters in each group. So I could write a number sentence to show this. I could say that 18 divided by, we do know how many groups we started with, 2, equals 9. So there's my number sentence. I had 18 markers. I divided them into 2 groups, and I had 9 markers in each group. What if I had a different number? Well, let's say that Mrs. Matthewson decided to be really nice and bring 15 cookies. Okay, and she thought she would share these 15 cookies with Mr. Rush, Mrs. Pruitt, and I. And she was going to share them equally. So we're going to have equal groups. Remember, that means the same number in each group. So I know the total number I have, 15. I know the size, or how many groups I'm going to have, 3. I just don't know how many are going to be in each of my groups. That's my unknown. So I'm going to start by partitioning out all my x's, and I'm going to go one at a time, and I'm going to put them in 3 different groups. So there's 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups. So we count like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I stop because I got to my 15 cookies. I can't go any more than that. That's all I have. So if I look at my groups, when I take my 15 and I partition them into 3 equal groups, same number in each group, I can count to see how many are in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because 15 divided by 3 equals 5. Let's think about this here. This is super similar to what we were doing when we were doing multiplication, isn't it? I had my 15. I shared them equally with 3. I've got groups, and I have some in each group, just like when we were talking about multiplication. It's almost like saying 3 groups of 5 equals 15. I could multiply these 2 numbers together right here and find the total number of markers. Multiplication and division are very, very similar. They're actually related. Let's take a look at this one. Let's say that we have Olivia, and she has some star stickers. Okay, she's got some star stickers that she's arranged like this. Now, if I look at this picture, my 12 is the total number of stickers up there. My 3 is the number of groups that I have. And my 4 is how many stars are in each of my groups. So my 12 is my total, my 3 is the number of groups, and my 4 is the size of each group. So I'm going to take those 3 numbers and write a number sentence with it, with division. So for division, you always start with your total first. So I have 12 total stickers divided into, now I put the number of groups, 1, 2, 3. And then my answer to my division problem is how many are in each of my equal groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 divided by 3 equals 4. I could also write, though, another division sentence using the same numbers. Okay? 12 divided by 4 equals 3. The picture would change, though, slightly. I wouldn't have 3 groups anymore. I would have 4 groups. And I wouldn't have 4 stars in each group. I'd have 3 stars. So it would look like this. So you can see how my 2 groups are different. Okay, same 3 numbers, but it's just slightly different. Now, let's look at another division sentence. 8 divided by 4. If 8 is my total number and 4 is the number of groups, then I am trying to find how big each group is going to be, or the size of each of my groups. So I could draw a picture to show this. I know I'm going to have 8 total things in my picture, and I'm going to have 4 equal groups. So I'm going to start by drawing my groups. There's my 4 groups. And now I'm going to partition this 8 out so that I have equal groups. That word equal is super important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I look here, I can see that I have 2 X's in each of my groups. So 8 divided by 4 equals 2. Boys and girls, next you're going to want to go onto your Google Classroom, find the workbook pages that Mr. Rush and I asked you to complete. Do those before you go do your exit ticket online, your exit ticket homework. And let us know if you have any questions in our Google Meets this week. Thanks.